Welcome. What an honor, what a privilege that so many of you could join today to my very first online event, the 5 Archetypes, your superpower and your lifelong challenge. Those of you who know me, hello. Those of you who don't know me, just a quick introduction about me. My name is Cornelia Zuha, and I am the founder and the co-CEO of Global Success Coaching. I am Austrian, I'm from Europe, and after my graduation, after my MBA graduation, it was my big dream to work abroad, to go abroad. And I was very lucky. I got a job offer at the World Bank and afterwards at the Inter-American Development Bank in Washington, D.C. So I was working 8 years for international organizations in the United States. And it was at that time when my passion for coaching and leadership development and intercultural development and team empowerment started. I started to walk that path. The bank really supported me, and this is the path I am walking. And after 8 years in the United States, it was my dream to get another adventure, like another challenge. So I moved to Japan. I was working then 8 years in Tokyo, in Japan, mostly as an internal coach, as an internal trainer for leadership development, team empowerment, intercultural development. And out of my 8 years in Japan, I was working for 3 years at IKEA, Japan. And I can see like a few of my former colleagues are here. It's so great to see you. Thank you for coming. So I did all the country learning and development, and also I was part of the Asia Pacific leadership development. And 12 years ago, my dream came true. I knew if not now, when then. I started my own company, Global Success Coaching. I'm running this company with my husband, and we are very blessed. I mean, we have been in the last 12 years, we have been working with the most amazing companies and leaders. So not to brag or to show off, just to show you how blessed we have been. These are some of the companies we have been working with. We have been empowering their leaders. And here we are today. I'm more than happy to share with you the wisdoms and some of the knowledge of the 5 archetypes. But before we jump into, let me know, where are you calling in from? What's the diversity in the room? Just write it in the chat. Where are you calling from? Hungary. Japan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, India, Singapore, Sweden, Tokyo, Washington, D.C. Thank you, my American friends, for getting up so early. Florida, USA, amazing. Germany, Hong Kong. So great to have such a variety here. Let's get started. 45 minutes will be very quick. Before we go into the wisdom and into the knowledge of the 5 archetypes, I would like to give you 2 reasons to stick around until the end, to stay for the whole 45 minutes. And I would like to kick this off with a 45 seconds video from Simon Sinek.
When we feel safe inside the organization, we will naturally combine our talents and our strengths and work tirelessly to face the dangers outside and seize the opportunities. The closest analogy I can give to what a great leader is like being a parent. If you think about what being a great parent is, what do you want? What makes a great parent? We want to give our child opportunities, education, discipline them when necessary, all so that they can grow up and achieve more than we could for ourselves. Great leaders want exactly the same thing. They want to provide their people opportunity, education, discipline when necessary, build their self-confidence, give them the opportunity to try and fail, all so that they could achieve more than we could ever imagine for ourselves.
And if you want to step up, if you want to be that amazing leader, the 5 archetypes, the wisdom of the 5 archetypes give you the tools, give you the steps, how to empower your team members, like how to behave, how to communicate, no matter what personality or primary archetype they are. Because if you learn about the 5 archetypes, if you master the 5 archetypes, 3 of your intelligences get improved. Isn't that amazing? You learn 1 tool and 3 intelligences get improved by you understanding the 5 archetypes. 1, your emotional intelligence, your EQ goes up. Meaning you catch what's going on inside of you. Like, what are the thoughts? What are the beliefs? What are the emotions that are running you? And you understand why you behave the way you behave. So the 5 archetypes give you that awareness, what's going on. They give you the awareness for you to realize whether you are in your best version, whether you are in your superpower or not. You catch yourself when you're not there. And many of you probably say, yeah, I'm already doing that. I'm catching myself. But you know, research shows that only 3% of the people, they are able to catch their thoughts in the moment they are happening. Not like 20 minutes later, 2 hours later, 2 days later, like to catch it in the moment. Because we can only change what we are aware of, what we are not aware of, whether we in our superpower or not. When we are not aware of what's running us, there is nothing we can do. So training the 5 archetypes, learning the 5 archetypes, you get back into in choice. I mean, you're in charge again. And you know, like research also shows that 99.9% of our time, most people are on autopilot. Meaning that like old patterns of behavior, old patterns of thinking are running them. So they are not in charge. So the 5 archetypes really help you to get back in charge. So 1, it's the EQ, the emotional intelligence that goes up. Then your social intelligence, your SQ goes up as well. You catch, you understand what's going on in your team member. You understand what's going on in your colleague, what he or she needs in your manager, in your client, in your spouse, in your kids, right? Only when you know what they need, you are able to give it to them. And most people's social intelligence, SQ, is quite low. And therefore, we assume that we all see the world in the same way. And we have a tendency to give the other person what we would need in that situation. And these are the moments when we let people down, when we disappoint people, when we demotivate people. So these are really the key moments. So learning about the 5 archetypes brings that up. You get much more awareness what's going on in the other person, and you can give it to them. And the 3rd intelligence that goes up, also your relationship intelligence goes up. It's not just what you want, what he wants, what she wants. What is it that your team needs? What is it that your department needs? What is it that your marriage needs? It's not what I want and you want. What is it that the relationship needs? What is it that your family needs? So all 3 of those intelligences go up by you learning and sticking around today the whole 45 minutes. I guarantee you, after those 45 minutes, you're already more sensitive regarding what's going on inside of you and what's going on in the other person. So stick around. There is good stuff going to come. So the 5 archetypes. It's actually ancient Chinese wisdom. It's more than 2,000 years old. And what I am teaching you today, what I'm talking you today, is about that ancient wisdom and combined with frontier science so that you can be more successful in today's environment, in today's marketplace. So, in all of us, in every person, in all of you, in every person on this planet Earth, all of those five archetypes, all of those five forces, all of those five energies are inside of us. They are just developed in different degrees. Like some of those forces are more developed than other forces. And at the moment we are born, we all get a primary archetype. It's like one out of those five archetypes is our primary archetype. That primary archetype stays with us our whole life and determines so much how we see the world, like how we think, what we believe, how we behave, what we need to be motivated. And that primary archetype is also like the gift we bring to the world. It's actually our superpower we bring to the world. It's absolutely linked to our purpose, to our legacy we want to leave here. And like you know, it's not that easy to be a human being, isn't it? There are so many influences. There is so much negativity. There is so much complaint. There is so much, you know, that stuff that's going on and that's impacting us. So many of us, we are not like permanently, like in our best version, in our superpower. So remembering that, like what is our superpower, and catching when we are not in our superpower and going back. This is our lifelong challenge. So let's look at the five archetypes one at a time. If you have questions, hold on to them. There will be some time at the end to ask the questions. Otherwise, we won't have enough time to finish within the 45 minutes. Are you ready? Let's look at them. Let's start with the fire archetype. If fire is your primary archetype, then you are a very passionate, radiant person. Primary fire archetypes who are in their balance, who are in their superpower, they have so much energy. They're very vibrant. When they enter the room, when they go on stage, when they talk in a meeting, when they give a presentation, I mean, they just like touch people's heart. They are so positive and they are able to bring the best out of other people. If a leader has like fire as their primary archetype, we call that leader charismatic leader. Charismatic leader because primary fire archetypes, I mean, they motivate people, they influence people, they lift up people. They are very, very optimistic and intuitive. It's really the passion is running through them. And their gift to the world, their superpower of a fire primary archetype is to bring joy, is to bring hope, and is to bring optimism. Isn't that great if you have a fire primary archetype like in your team member? That person really lifts up the rest of the team member if that person is in or her superpower. So let me ask you, who comes to your mind when you hear that description of a primary fire archetype? Who of the people comes to your mind that could be a primary fire archetype person? Just write it in the chat box. My boss. Yeah. My father, beautiful. Obama. Yeah. And three people that came to my mind who are absolutely primary fire archetype. One, Robin Williams. I mean, wasn't he so
High five.
amazing? He made all of us smile. He brought so much happiness to everybody with his fire, with his primary fire archetype. He made everybody happy except himself. He killed himself. He was never able like to balance all the other archetypes in himself. He totally over relied on his fire. Also, Oprah Winfrey, maybe you all know her. You know, when she goes on stage and she says, "Hello, everybody." I mean, it's just about like bringing hope and joy and optimism. And Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, what an amazing leader that was with his speeches. Like, "I have a dream" speech, lifting up the people, bringing so much optimism to the world. This is what fire primary archetype people bring. And maybe some of you already have figured it out. So my primary archetype is also fire. So I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of passion in whatever I do. And some of you already said it before, like if you think about in your community, in your team, in your family, among your friends, who could be like a primary fire archetype? You know, if when you're just with this person, I mean, that person just lifts you up. Yeah, and yes, Paul McCartney, Jamie Foxx, and you know, those fire primary archetypes, I mean, you really see them. I mean, they love to be seen. It's really among the celebrities. There are so many actors and actresses and musicians and comedians who want to bring joy and optimism to the world. So they are really out there. Yeah, so many of them are primary fire archetype. Let's now go to the next one. It's the earth archetype. It's a totally different force. It's a totally different energy running through you. If you are a primary earth archetype, you remember the names of people, you remember the birthdays of people, and you so love when people ask you for advice. These are the altruist. If you are a leader and your primary archetype is earth, we call that leader the altruistic leader. They care about their team member. They nurture them, and they are very protective of their team, their department, very protective of their family and their kids. And they bring beautiful empathy. They understand other people without judging them. And their love, their nurturing, what they bring, it brings so much calmness to any chaos. They love sharing. They love sharing their food. They love sharing information. They are the best team player of all. They are very, very supportive. They're very sociable. They love to talk. They love to small talk. It's fire. Primary fire also likes to talk, but it's more like, hey, listen to me, like more to get the center of attention. But for an earth primary archetype, socializing is to deepen the relationship, to understand each other even more, and to give the other person what the other persons need. They love to be involved. They love to be involved in projects. They love to be needed. So their gift, their superpower to this planet Earth and with everybody they are with, it's really, they bring unity. They are the glue that keep like teams together, that keeps families together, that keeps like friends together, and the empathy. It's understanding, feeling what the other person needs, being able to enter the other person's world without judging it. Yeah, just like imagine having this amazing person in your team. Can you see what that person brings? So who comes to your mind that could be like a primary earth archetype? Yeah, my OJT mentor. Yeah. Mother. Yeah. Husband. Oh, beautiful. Hmm. So three people that came to my mind. One is Mother Teresa, right? Princess Diana. I mean, they were so humanitarian. But also, I would put like Michelle Obama there. I mean, of course, I mean, her wood, we will talk about wood like in a moment. Wood is all about achievement. Of course, her wood is developed quite a lot. But I think her primary is her earth, because like her goals, it's about the humanity, to lift up humanity, to improve humanity. And it's not about like her egoistic goals. So I think Michelle Obama is really a beautiful example for a primary earth archetype. I also could have put like a Gandhi, Jimmy Carter there. Like it's really like when it's about like the other people, lifting up the other people. You, Cornelia. um, so who comes to your mind in your family, in your team, among your friends that has that natural primary earth power? Okay, let's keep going. The third one is the metal archetype. Again, a totally different force, again, a totally different energy. The metal primary archetype. If metal is your primary archetype, then you admire and you notice distinct details the other four archetypes they don't even see. They don't even notice. You see details in a room, in a work, in a piece of art, in clothes. Like these are the people like me as a primary fire archetype, right? Like if I prepare like a spreadsheet and I check it 4 times, 5 times to make sure it's perfect, no mistakes, and then I give it to a primary metal archetype, they just have the ability to see and to pick up the little things that are not perfect. They stand for perfection and they pick up the details. These are the people who make sure that meetings start on time, they finish on time, that all the items on the agenda are covered. They make sure that everybody is clear on the takeaways, on the next steps, like on like where are we going. They are very organized. Like they go home and they clean up their desk before they go home. So primary metal archetype people, they are very dignified and refined. Even the way they are standing, the way they are sitting, it's very, very proper. And also how they dress and like the hairstyle, you see it, it's very, very proper. It's very, very dignified. And they're always looking for the lesson. They're always looking what has value, what does not have value. Like in the meeting, what had value, what didn't have value. And they are willing, they are ready to throw overboard anything that doesn't have value. So they are very good at drawing boundaries. It's like fire and earth, they are very, very bad at like drawing boundaries. This is what we can learn from a primary metal archetype, like creating boundaries. They love rituals, they love structure, they seek order, they give order, and it's all about perfection. And the superpower, the gift a primary metal archetype brings to the world is really beauty. What they create, it's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful, like bridges and gardens and buildings. It's really perfect what they create. And morality. So if you are a leader and your primary archetype is metal, we call that leader a moral leader. So who comes to your mind after hearing that description that could be like a primary metal archetype person? Write it in the chat. My girlfriend, Prime Minister Abe, Karl Lagerfeld. Yeah, yeah, you see them because for the beauty they create. My finance manager, yeah, absolutely. And three people that came to my mind that are probably primary metal archetype. One, Angelina Jolie. Just look at her posture. Just look how she stands. It's so refined. It's so proper, right? She is very clear what's good and what's bad, what has value and what does not have value. But also the Pope. Of course, I think his earth archetype is very, very developed. But if you look at the Catholic Church, it's a very, very metal world. So many rules, everything is decided, who can meet him, how many minutes a person can meet him, the dress code, everything is decided. In order to get where he got, you either need your primary a metal, or you must have developed your metal archetype to a very, very high level. But also Baryshnikovs, like ballet, in order to make like a jump that looks so beautiful, that looks so perfect. You know how much practice went into that? And this is what the primary metal archetype stands for. Practice makes perfect. So think about like who in your community, who in your team, who in your family, who among your friends could be a primary metal archetype, and bring that beauty, that structure, that perfection, and also the morality to the conversations and when you are with that person. Audrey Hepburn, engineers, yes, absolutely. Okay, let's look at the water archetype. Imagine the big blue ocean. It's very deep, it's very quiet, it's very calm, isn't it? And this describes the primary water archetype. Very deep, very calm, always looking for the truth, always looking for the wisdom. So they are very, very insightful. They love reflection. They love meditation. They love going for a walk and just think, and also journaling. They are amazing listeners, and they are the problem solvers. But it takes the time it takes. Like a mantra that's running the primary water archetype. It's like good things come to those who wait. But you know what's so amazing about the primary water archetypes? They are able to see through muddled emotions and worries and constraints and get to the solution. Like the other four archetypes, they get knocked off, they get confused. But primary water archetype people, they see through it and find the truth, find the solution. They love to be alone. They need to be alone. They are very self-sufficient and they are very self-contained. So their gift to the world, their superpower is really peace and meaning and the truth. And like if you're in a meeting and right next to you sits a person who has like primary water archetype. Me as a fire person, I just come down. I breathe deeper. It's like the impact they have, the peace they bring to the people and to the room. It's so beautiful. And if you're a leader who is a primary water archetype, we call that leader a wise leader. So, who comes to your mind? Who can you think of that could be like a primary water archetype? And it's not so easy because they are not out there like the fire or the metal people. It's so much easier to come up with names. Dalai Lama, absolutely, yes, he's one of them. So these are three characters, people I came up with. Yoda from Star Wars and absolutely the Dalai Lama. But I was a little bit hesitating whether I should put him or not, because he was lately like in the news, but he absolutely stands for peace and meaning and truth. I was at one of his presentations he gave, and wow, the peace, the atmosphere he created in the room, and the depth he brought all of us, me as a fire primary archetype, he brought me to places I myself cannot go. That's the power of like water primary archetype. And also Viktor Frankl, he is the Austrian Jewish psychologist. He is like the survivor. He was the survivor of the concentration camp of the Second World War, and his primary water archetype kept him alive, looking for the meaning. What's the truth here? And he wrote an amazing book, Man's Search for Meaning. Those of you who have not read it, I so recommend it. It's an amazing book. So who comes to your mind has that superpower, like bringing peace and bringing the truth and bringing the meaning, like in your community, in your team, in your family? And then the last one, the wood archetype. Again, a totally different force, a totally different energy. If wood is your primary archetype, you are the first in line in to how can I say, to explore an uncharted territory. You are the first who raises your hand for a new challenge. They love new challenges. Primary wood archetypes, it's all about getting to the goal. It's all about achievement. It's all about the movement. Let's get going. It does not have to be perfect. Perfection is the metal archetype, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but let's keep going. They are assertive. They know what they want. And if you get in front of them, if you are in their way, they put you aside. They love change. They love challenges. They are visionary. They know where they are going. They know where we are going. And they're the big picture planner. It's kind of like, what are the milestones we have to reach in order to get to the goal? And they are competitive. They are in the game to win. And we call a leader whose primary is wood, the wood archetype, we call that leader the courageous leader. And this is the superpower. This is the gift what primary wood archetype people bring. It's the courage. It's the perseverance. It's not giving up. It's about executing the plan no matter what. Who comes to your mind that could be like a primary wood archetype? Write it in the, yeah, Elon Musk, yeah. The primary wood archetypes, I mean, you see it a lot, like in managers, in leaders, in entrepreneurs, in business owners, in senior management teams. It's like the primary wood archetypes, you see them a lot there. Let's keep going. And let's get to the goals. It's about achievement. So 3 people that came to my mind. I mean, I put Michael Jordan there because when I was living in Washington, D.C., he was like on the peak of his career. I was such a big Michael Jordan fan, but I could have put like any athlete or any like group sports. It's about winning, right? It's about getting that basket, that ball in the basket. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's about winning. Richard Branson. I mean, I could put so many business owner. He's kind of the founder of the Virgin Group. Bill Gates. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I think he has a lot of wood, but I think he has a lot of metal as well. Like what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is not right. He has a lot of like black and white in him, but his wood is very developed as well. Absolutely. Yeah, Otani, absolutely. It's about winning, right? So who in your community, and I think we have quite a few wood, primary wood archetype people here too. It's my assumption, it's my hallucination, but who else do you come up with? So which of those explanations, when you heard now the explanation of the 5 archetypes, which one did you connect the most? Which one did you identify the most? And you think like, probably I am a primary fire, or I'm a primary metal, or I'm a primary wood. Which one did you connect the most? And the opposite, like we all have like 1 or 2, they are totally the opposite of our primary archetype. How did like the one that's totally opposite to your primary archetype, how did that make you feel? Did that make you feel positive, or did that make you feel negative? So it's very, very important that you remember all 5 archetypes are beautiful. They are amazing. And it's not that one archetype has more value than the other, or that one is better than the other. We need all 5 of them. We need all 5 on this planet Earth for this planet Earth to function properly. It's just that all the 5 archetypes, they are very, very unique. Very, very unique in the way they think. Very, very unique regarding what they believe, how they behave, how they communicate, and what they need to be motivated. And if we don't know that, what really the other person is motivated by, what do? Most people, right? We stick to our guns. We stick to our own primary archetype, and we give that person what we would need in that moment. And this is when we mess up relationships. This is when we disappoint people, when we hurt people, when we demotivate people. Like when I started to learn about the 5 archetypes in the certification training, when I found out that my fire actually can hurt, can disappoint, like metal is the opposite of fire. Wow, it opened my mind. I was not aware. I was absolutely outside of my awareness. And when you learn about the 5 archetypes, you really get it. Like depending who you have in front of you, how you have to communicate, how you have to behave. It's so powerful. Do you see now what I promised you at the end? Do you get it now? By learning about the 5 archetypes, all 3 intelligences inside of you, the EQ, what's going on inside of you, the SQ, the social intelligence, what's going on in other, and the relationship intelligence, the RQ, what do we need is going up. So let me ask you, what was the most valuable thing you have learned today? Just think about it. And how can you go to an even deeper level? Today we just scratched the surface, actually. And we call that deeper level 5 archetypes mastery. It's a 6 weeks course we offer where everything we talked about today, we go much, much deeper, and we give you all the tools you need in order to be more successful. A real roadmap for yourself to catch yourself, like when you are not in your superpower, how to get back, and how to really get the best out of your team and all the relationships you have. So it's 6 weeks, it's 6 sessions. Every session is 90 minutes, led by me. And led by me. And you get, like, in every session, you get techniques that act to accelerate yourself, your team, and your business. You get tools to decrease disengagement. You get tools to increase productivity, to increase your communication in staff meetings, in all your coaching conversations, in your weekly one-on-ones, in the emails you write, in the negotiations you run, in the feedback talks you give, in the change initiatives you lead, and in all the sales talks you have. And you get strategies to overcome, to resolve interpersonal conflicts and difficult situations easily and effortlessly. So it's 6 sessions, 90 minutes. You will also find out your own score, your own 5 archetypes. What is your primary archetype? And there will also be like a Facebook group, an exclusive 5 archetypes Facebook group for the members, where we go deeper, where we help each other, where we challenge each other, where we hold each other accountable. And you can always reach out to us 24/7. It will always only be a couple of hours until one of our team member gets back to you. And for every person who participates, for every investment you make, we will take a percentage and make a donation in your name to improve human well-being and to create a better future. So how much more successful would you be, and how much more powerful would your impact be if you learned more about the 5 archetypes, if you mastered the 5 archetypes, if you actually practiced, if it becomes a natural behavior of the five archetypes? And how would your communications and your relationships improve? The relationships with your team members, with your managers, with your family, with your friends, with your clients, with your colleagues. If you had more understanding, if we were using the wisdom and the roadmap of the 5 archetypes. So we start in 2 weeks. It's on a Tuesday as well, same time as today. I added up the whole value. The whole value is 4,670 euros. And this is a training that really benefits everyone. There is no leader on this planet Earth that would not benefit from this training. So we offer it much, much cheaper. We offer this training for 1,270 euros plus tax. So give yourself this gift. You are here for more. And I think all of you, you would not have shown up today if you did not feel somewhere there is more regarding your superpower. The best investment you can make is the investment in yourself. I hope I see many of you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to go through the basics of the 5 archetypes. Use it. Use even this basics, and think about yourself. Like, what's your primary archetype? Like, what do you depend on most regarding in your behavior? And also be more sensitive regarding other people. Thank you so much. Hopefully see you in 2 weeks. Have a great day.